That's my cat over there.
I'm gonna pet the kid. Pretty little kid.
Much later today, and maybe we get some diet changes, maybe we don't. Everything's been moving along pretty well. Shape's coming in, conditioning's coming in, but the weight is kind of stabilizing. So we're going to go through what meals are now, and then that way if they change in the next day or two, we can redo this. So we've done a couple of these, but they've been kind of early in the morning, so not a lot of explanation, not a lot of talking. So liquid egg whites, I get these from Sam's Clubs. They are the best deal that you can get for the price. And so we get 200 grams of egg whites, one whole egg, and then I throw in about a handful, which ends up being maybe a cup, maybe a little bit more than a cup of spinach. Then this has kind of been my low-key flavor go-to right now. It's just this like pico salsa. It's from Walmart. It's super cheap, but you can see it's only 5 calories. So I can put that on there, add a little bit of flavor to it, and then maybe even throw in this everything but the bagel seasoning. It is also 5 calories, so I'll do one or the other typically. And right now, I'm not using a ton of sauces. Everything is very, very dialed in. So I limit 2 of my meals to have sauces like that. So maybe I'm getting extra 20 calories from those. But that's keeping me from having any kind of cravings coming off plan at all. And so that's what I've learned in this prep and over the last few months is just really trying to make my food taste a lot better so that I want to eat the food that I'm supposed to eat rather than eating bland, because I used to just boil chicken and eat brown rice. And it was just horrible, no sauces, no nothing, maybe mustard and hot sauce because there's 0 calories. But I'd much rather take that 10, 15 calories in there and want to eat all my food, not eat, a spoonful of anything else. And of course, you've got to have your Himalayan sea salt. Make sure you're salting your meals, especially when you're eating super, super clean. You do not want to go too low on sodium. Sodium is a problem for those that aren't working out, that are eating a ton of processed foods. Most of the preservatives you see have sodium as part of the actual preservative. So that's why they say sodium is bad. If you have high blood pressure and you're not exercising and you're eating too much salt, sodium can be bad. But for healthy individuals, sodium is good. So 200 grams of egg whites, 1 whole egg. We got some spinach, we got some seasoning. Then after that, 40 grams of oats. I usually put 2 packs of stevia in there and some sort of fruit. So I'm getting 40 grams of either blueberries or blackberries. We're out because my wife did an amazing job and packed me some overnight oats because I was having hot meals all the time. And she was like, hey, it'd be good for you to just have something of a different texture, different heat. So that's what we got in here. And you can see we reuse everything. So it's a cashew butter container, but trust me, that's overnight oats. So, all right, well, I'm going to get rolling here. So you want to take all your kind of scrambled egg whites and they come out first. Okay. And take your 1 whole egg and you flip it. Give it just a second here. Get that white just cooked. But we don't want to mess up the yolk because that's what's going to make the rest of this taste really good. If not, it's just egg whites. So there's enough of that pain to go through and bam, look, got your nice yolk, nice and runny. Boom. Then here's where the salsa comes in. Okay, 30 grams. You can see that it's quite a bit here, right there. So almost a tablespoon. All right, so of course we got to get our greens in. I like to do this with my first meal of the day. You get your alpha lipoic acid, You get your astragalus in there. You get some vitamin C. Different things that can help with glucose control. So as you're eating carbs, your body's helping regulate the release of insulin and can help you shuttle your carbs a little bit better. So get that in first thing. The other thing is there's some fat-soluble vitamins in here, which are better to be taken with food. I forgot to salt earlier. And got some black coffee. So gonna eat all this down and hit up Coach, go do some posing for him, see what we do. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, looks like we work out in this. Guys, about to get my pre-workout meal in here. So this is our electric kettle. It's kind of my hack here for getting these cream of rices done in a quick amount of time. You can see it's boiling already. I already had it boiling earlier and then decided that we were going to work out later. So it usually takes like 2 or 3 minutes. Goes to super rolling boil here. And then it shuts itself off, as you can see right there. So we're going to do 45 grams, and I'm almost out the chocolate bowl of gains here, but I got some on the way with some other seasonings. So I do 45 grams because that's what the regular serving of cream of rice is, and so I kind of switch back and forth between the regulars and this. All the instructions, they're all for microwave, but I'm going to give you kind of a little tip here. Is the electric kettle works super well here, and so for about 45 grams I put 150 to 160 grams of water, and so that may be a little bit less than what they say in the recipe, but the trick is this is basically, without it going back and forth in the microwave all the time like the instructions say, is that it doesn't lose as much water to evaporation. And because the water is already boiling hot, typically doesn't clump that much either. So when I'm training super early in the morning, I don't like using a microwave, waking everybody else up. So I don't. Keeps everybody asleep. Scoop and a half for protein here. Our protein is not here yet, and I've literally drank every single sample of protein that we've ever had made. So I'm down to nothing. So we're buying some other people's stuff. This is a whey protein concentrate, but I really love this flavor. It's always been one of my go-tos. So when I'm in this kind of prep mode here, I'm doing a lot of things for flavor here and there just to kind of keep me where I enjoy all the food, I enjoy all the protein. So you can kind of see here that just within a second or two, this whole thing has come out almost perfect. What I am going to do, since nobody else is here, crank this in the microwave just for a couple. So see right there, legit. I'm gonna sit down, eat this. I'm not gonna record that because. All right, so real quick, getting ready for the gym, getting my pre-workout here. Gonna try to stay right at 1 scoop. Keep my caffeine down today because caffeine during the week has been just way too high, just to kind of keep moving. So I put that in there. We'll get a little scoop of pump stuff when we get to the gym, but we've got to go hit posing first. One thing I did want to talk about is Chiseled. I've been using Chiseled for 3 to 4 weeks now, but as we're getting closer to the show, I'm already staying really dry. So this has dandelion root in it, which is a natural diuretic. It pulls some water, which is great. Generally, that's no big deal. I love that part because I think typically I hold a little bit more water than I would like. But as we get close to the show, pulled this out, because we want to save any water manipulation for the last couple of weeks. So it's been about 5 days that I haven't taken this at all. My weight hasn't bounced back very much, maybe a half of a pound. So in the end, it wasn't really making that big of an effect water-wise, but typically, like if I'm eating bad or something, it could be a swing of 3 to 5 pounds. So we want to utilize this later as we come into the show. We can dry out especially well with dandelion root and having those extra cortisol enhancements and thyroid enhancements as we get closer. So really beneficial, but also we need to understand what we're putting in our bodies and the time frame that we're using them. So 4 weeks out, we're going to pull back on that, really check where my conditioning is, really check where water weight is hanging out, you know, am I holding any fluid anywhere? And that will help us adjust the diet, because the worst thing to be would be look dry, do all these things, and then think you're going to be able to pull water and realize basically you've been pulling water the whole time. So that's just a little tip there. It's great for last couple weeks to the show, 8 weeks out to the show. But I would say if you're, 4, 5, maybe 3 weeks out, go ahead and pull it, really see what your conditioning is like before you get into a water pool that you don't have enough water for and end up hurting yourself. Back at the house, just got done training and really far behind on meals here, so I gotta get this meal cooked. This is technically meal 3, I guess, because we got a pre-workout meal, we had breakfast. This is typically what I eat at lunchtime, but it's 2:43 right now, so I'm gonna have to eat this meal, and technically I would eat at 3. So we're definitely going to have to double up on some meals, but I've got some posing to do here in a little while. So I don't want to be super duper full. So I'll probably double up on my dinner meal and then just go straight to bed, to be honest. So what we're doing here is I've got some sweet potatoes. I've got some ground beef that I got to cook here in a second. But we're going to get these prepped and throw them in the air fryer while we're getting the beef ready, and some vegetables too. We got to do some green beans. Don't let me forget, greens are important. So I was actually talking to a guy this morning, younger guy that's been asking a lot of questions on Facebook, trying to get his bodybuilding and everything in order, try to get his life in order. But one of the things that come up today was about digestion and about eating greens. And yes, we have a greens product. Greens products can be helpful. But the biggest thing that I've seen in my physique over the last couple of years is just prioritizing greens. Because for the longest time, I get my chicken and rice in, screw the greens, whatever, I don't care. But the simple fact is that that extra fiber, those micronutrients, I think make a huge impact on the way that your body processes food. And you need all those vitamins, you need all those micronutrients. So eat your greens. I like green beans, zucchinis, easy to eat for me. Spinach is easy to add to breakfast type foods, but we do a lot of Brussels sprouts. I don't really eat too much broccoli anymore, so for some of you guys that probably prep with a lot of broccoli, That's a cruciferous plant, and same thing with cauliflower. That kind of fiber that's in those can actually bind you up. It's way too much fiber, and for me, it just doesn't sit well. And my digestion just immediately improved. And I'd been eating broccoli for years and years and years because it's cheap and it's easy and you can get it frozen and bam, steam it, boom. Sprouts, asparagus, zucchini, green beans, lots of cucumber, salads, any dark leafy greens. Not a big fan of kale. If you're my age or even a little bit older, you probably remember that garnish was a thing back in the day, and that's all kale is. That's that garnish shit that we were told not to eat as a kid. Now it's a superfood. So I still haven't gotten over that. I'm still scarred from that. So you'll see that it really doesn't take that much effort if you do the shit the way that I do it. Save you some kind of time. And this will have enough sweet potato for tomorrow, potentially even Monday, because I'm only eating like 3 ounces of sweet potato. Got my little air fryer racks here, and we're just gonna take these. Honestly, I don't try really hard to make them perfect. So, and here's this Friday seasoning from Tony's. It does pretty well. We'll just give this a little squirt over the trash can because it's going to leak a little bit. And not that side, that's the danger side. And just give it a little sprinkle. An air fryer. 15 minutes, 400. I don't care. All right, so small manipulation on my part, and so we are going with chicken because I did not pull out enough beef. So first thing we're going to get going is our green beans. How much effort it really takes to eat your greens. Look at that. That's a whole bag of green beans in there. A couple squirts of olive oil. And yeah, a little bit of coconut oil just for the pan. Not for any other reason other than I just ran out of olive oil. A little sprinkle. Done posing back at the house. We are about to eat what should have been meal number 2 in the afternoon. So it's like meal 4. It is another 8 ounces of chicken, 175 grams of jasmine rice, some green beans, and half an avocado. So here's the meal. It's kind of, this is really what my dinner meal would be. Exactly like this, and I may throw in some flavor gang sauce. Running behind, it is 6:30, and I've got to get this meal in, and then I also have a shake. I want to be in bed by 9 o'clock tonight because I realized that my sleep habits that I usually have are not cutting it. My fatigue is way up this past week. Slept really good the last couple days with the house being empty. So we will try to get as much sleep as we can. Readjusting some things now with my sleep schedule. We can get better workouts. We can have more energy for our cardio, have more energy for meal plans that we got to do, and some label reviews. Because the final art proofs for the labels going to print. It's going to be available Monday, which means that once we press go, they become physical. And if we have any problems, those problems become thousands of dollars worth of problems. So we want to have a clear head, make good decisions. Love the little hack there to sprinkle it over the trash can. That way if you make a mess, it goes in the trash, not all over the counter. Into the air fryer. 15 minutes at 400. And that'll be that. Bought this meat out earlier before we left. A higher quality beef than, let's say, I would buy on average. So part of this diet, my coach wants me to either eat bison or grass-fed beef. So this is kind of the in-between for me. It's the grass-fed beef. We can find it on a discount rather than paying $8, $9 a pound for grass-fed beef from one of these other places. Fresh Market, $2.99 Tuesdays or $3.99 Tuesdays, whatever they call them now. Inflation's a bitch. So now it's $3.99 a pound, but this is probably like some of the best meat that you can get for that price, and we stock up every Tuesday. Regular red meat from other places may sit harder on my stomach, and I know it messes with my wife quite a bit. This seems to sit really well for everybody. So seasoning wise, this Badia Complete. I'm going to show you guys a little trick for your beef when you got to drain it. Look down in here, you can see there's aluminum foil. We got our strainer, and we put that aluminum foil just in whatever. If it's a bowl, you can do it with just the rim. Get all the grease out through it. Get this out, and you don't have any grease that's going to get down into your drain or your traps and get clogged up, mess up any of your plumbing. And the neat thing about this here is we get all that grease down in here, and you can see all that grease. That's going to solidify. You can roll that right up and be completely done with it. 8 ounces of beef. Potatoes here, 8 ounces. I'm just a savage, so about 1.5 ounces of green beans. Now we eat this, get a shake before bed, and that's it. You can see here's the next morning.